Good morning.
No. Excellent. Aho is going to be always used in this session also. So friends, I have a question to all of you. How many of you agree with me that table topics is one of the most challenging yet one of the most thrilling part of Toastmasters? Raise your hands. Almost everyone. Indeed, even the guests are raising their hands. That's amazing. So do you all agree that table topics are difficult at times, but if you know how to speak, if you know how to crack a table topic, it becomes really fun. Yes? You all agree?
Yes.
Excellent. So today we are going to learn the techniques which can help us to master any table topic, even if we are not aware about or have any past knowledge of that table topic. Also, today we are going to learn about different types of table topics and 3 important tips which we must remember while coming on the stage. So my dear friends, are we all ready for the session?
Yes, we are.
Now, whenever I conduct a session, I take a Punjabi twist. So whenever I ask you anything and you have to say yes, instead of saying yes, you will say it in Punjabi. And how do we say yes in Punjabi?
Aho.
So are we all ready for the session?
Aho.
Are we all ready for the session?
Aho.
Excellent. So before I come up with any inputs, let me ask you, why do you think sometimes we are able to speak so fluently on the stage and other times we go completely blank? Any observation?
Lack of,
Yes?
lack of information in the mind.
Lack of information. That if we have already a preconceived notion or information about something, we are able to speak fluently. But what if we get a topic when we are completely unaware of? How are we going to handle it? That's one challenge. Anything else? Yes, Toastmaster Neha.
If we have experience, we'll be able to relate it, we'll be able to quote examples of it. So, if we don't have experiences, I faced myself that I'm not able to speak.
What type of experience are you talking about?
Like,
Your personal experience or what?
Yes, personal experience, or we have seen some other person. Like in my area level or division level contest, I got the topic on leadership. I never took any leadership role, so I was blank at that time. I had no clue what to say. At that
Okay,
time.
now this is interesting and let's start from here only. You said that I got a topic on leadership and I was completely unaware about it. Now tell me one thing. Have you not served any leadership position in Toastmasters in your journey yet?
Yes, I have, as we prepare.
You had served as Vice President Public Relation, the 4th rank officer in Toastmasters fraternity. So who stopped you to talk about your experience? What did you learn from this leadership position in that table topic? Think about it. Isn't it true that we all have stories already ready with all of us? If a topic comes related with leadership, aren't we all a personal leader? As Toastmaster Rajneesh also mentioned, that all of us are group admins of one group or the other in our WhatsApp community. So are we not leaders in some capacity? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or aho?
Aho.
Excellent. So we all are leaders in some way or the other. And one of the reasons that speakers are able to speak fluently, they keep stories ready in their bank account. Sometimes, I have a personal, whenever a topic related to leadership comes, I know I'd served Toastmasters in the capacity of club president. I have a complete story ready with me. Initially, we had 14 members in our club. At the end of my tenure, we ended with 40 members. So whenever a topic related with leadership comes, I know what I'm going to speak on. I'm going to speak on the journey of how I converted with my team from 40 to 40 members. The story is already ready. Whenever a topic comes related with never give up or consistency is the key, I know what I have to speak on. I have to speak on my journey as a public speaker. At times when I used to go completely blank, to the time today when I'm delivering a session in front of you, I know what I have to speak on. Some people say, how are you able to use stories in table topics? The answer is, I do not create stories for table topics. I have stories ready with me in my account. Just like a manufacturer has raw material ready with him, or a retailer has finished goods ready with him, a public speaker must always be ready with the stories. Now, coming to the concern which was raised by Toastmaster Neha. What if I do not have any personal story with me ready? I have not done anything in my life. I can tell you hundreds of reasons that you have done something, but still you are not coming up with a personal story. Then, my dear friends, who has stopped you to talk about a leadership story of any person you personally know? That can be a friend, that can be a mentor. You can talk about their stories as well. If you think that, oh, I don't have anyone in my life who inspires me to be a leader, then, my dear friends, who has stopped you to talk about the leadership lessons from great Mahatma Gandhi, from Shah Rukh Khan, from Sachin Tendulkar? Don't we have stories around us? So, if you have to become a great speaker in table topics, number one thing you have to crack is stories. These stories can be personal by nature. These stories can be stories of your friends, of your mentors, of your colleagues who inspires you in some capacity. And these stories can be stories of famous personality. So always be ready with the stories. That's number one lesson. Do you all agree with it?
Yeah.
Aho? Excellent, excellent. Now, the question comes that even if we are not ready with the stories, or even if we are ready with the stories, sometimes we are not able to structure our thoughts. We start speaking in one direction and the table topics ends in another direction. How many of you faces this issue? Raise your hands. Here I have a technique for all of you which can make you a master in structuring your table topic. And the technique has the name which is also the name of one of the most famous biscuits in India, Oreo. Where O stands for opinion, R stands for reason, E for explanation, and again opinion. Let's take an example. For instance, somebody asks you your views on capitalism. Now, whether you support capitalism or you are against capitalism, just try to apply Oreo technique in answering this table topic. In my opinion, capitalism is required for our economy. Give a reason. I say so because when we look at the state-run states, when we look at the states where freebies are being practiced, these states in long term loses their authenticity. People are not able to get the required infrastructure, and people compromise on other necessities in life. Give a reason, or even if you support, if you are against it, give a reason at that time. E stands for explanation, which I just said. Explain that reason. And again, reinstate on the opinion. That's why capitalism is required for the economy. It is required for the long term and not for the short term. Opinion, reason, explanation, opinion. Just like we talk about in speeches, that we start with a hook, we have a content, then we end up from where we have started. It's like drawing a circle, isn't it? So your table topic must be able to complete that circle. And Oreo is that one technique which can help you to do so. Start with an opinion, then give a reason, then come up with explanation of that reason, and again reinstate that opinion. Once you start practicing your table topics like this, you will see you would be able to speak with more structure. So stories and Oreo, once they both are blended, magic happens in table topics. What if now think for a moment, you start your table topic with Oreo technique. You give your opinion. In my opinion, artificial intelligence is a need of the hour. You give a reason. But at the time of coming to the explanation, you come up with a personal story. Or you come up with a story of a famous personality. Of Oreo with storytelling. That's the catch. Now, I just want to take a pause over here and let's talk about the different types of table topics. So, there are 3 types of table topics which we generally face even inside Toastmasters. Toastmasters or outside Toastmaster as well. First type of topics, in which people would ask you your opinion. These topics are comparatively easy. Topics like, do you support school uniform or not? Or do you support this or that? Topics which requires your opinion. Now, difficult topics. These topics are crude. You may not be able to catch it directly. You have to pay attention towards the topic. Topics like, give credit before credit is due. Once a topic like this was given in a Toastmaster meeting and the speaker started talking about credit card and debit card. Do you think we have to talk about credit card and debit card in this topic? Anyone who knows the meaning of this topic? Give credit before credit is due? Yes? Yes?
Like give credit means like appreciate someone before getting appreciated by others.
Excellent. Let's give a huge round of applause. And third type of topics are abstract topics. Sometimes table topic master is going to take you to an imaginary world, a utopian world which do not exist in the reality. Once I got a topic, you have a superpower. How will you change the world? I don't even know what is my superpower. How can I think about changing the world now? But now I have to talk on this topic. So now, instead of me bombarding you with the knowledge, let's do a quick table topic session right now again. Okay? Excited all of you? Excellent. So we'll start with one simple topic, one difficult and one abstract topic. And after completion of each topic, we'll observe that how we can make it better. Or what are the things we can keep in mind while having a group topic or an abstract topic. So first, for an easy topic where an opinion would be required. Any volunteer for this topic? I need a new member who has not spoken till now in the meeting. So would you like to participate?
Yes.
Yes, come on the stage. Great. Shashwat, your topic is why public speaking is important to be learned at a younger stage.
Yeah, so hello friends, my name is Ashwin and today's topic is on the public speaking. So why public speaking is important at the younger age. So what I believe that in the younger age you are very much curious to know about the new things. You are very much curious to learn about the new things. Like when you go when you enter into a professional career. So there people think that you must know this thing. You must know that thing. And the public speaking to convince someone. Like in the working professional, if we talk about the working professional, I'm also a working professional, so there I feel that public speaking is very much essential. Because sometimes randomly you have to speak on something in front of your boss. So we all know that you are much, you are good at your work, but you are not a good speaker. So while good at your work, you must be a good speaker so that you can inspire others also. And public speaking today, like I'm not a good public speaker, so that's why I've come here to learn the public speaking skill. And the first reason is that in the world, like when you go to the like in the public speaking is very much important just because you can express like how to express your feeling, how to express yourself in front of others. Like in the early age when you go to learn the public speaking, then that time you don't have any you don't feel awkward also. In the early stage we all know that we are a learner, we are a student, so we can do sometimes mistakes also. But at the later ages, when you don't know how to behave in a public and how to give speeches in the public places, so there you will find that some young students give much better public speaking than you. So there you will find that it is and this is why it is important to learn public speaking at the early age. And thank you.
so fluently. That requires courage as well as calmness within. I still remember the first time I got an exposure to table topics. I was very excited. The moment I entered this stage, I got a topic, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And to my surprise, that day, few beautiful girls were sitting right in front of me. I had a straight eye contact with them. And the moment I looked at them, I forgot everything. And I went completely blank on the stage. But you spoke very well. Just one suggestion, Shashwat, that you were repeating the word public speaking again and again. Now let's try to blend Oreo and storytelling into it. In my opinion, public speaking is important because reason. It could be your personal reason, it could be because it helps you to get a new job, to get a new skill, or even monetizing public speaking is a great idea. Today trainers and motivational speakers are earning so much, better than anyone working in the MNC. So talk about any one or two reasons. Then at the time of, let me explain, at the time of explanation, blend a personal story. Maybe there could be a time when you went on the stage and you went completely blank. And even if you don't remember your personal story, how many of you know the story of Sandeep Maheshwari? Anyone of you? Sandeep Maheshwari, one of the most renowned motivational speaker of India. He was invited for a guest lecture in a I think, IIT or which college?
Pune.
In some college in Pune, right? The moment he went on the stage, he went completely blank. He played that video in one of his sessions one day. So who stopped you to deliver that story? People remember stories. Always remember that. So if you are able to give one explanation with an example, with a practical example, either from your life or from someone else's life, people will be able to remember your content, your table topic. That's the catch. Okay? Now, anyone up for a difficult topic? Yes. Neeraj has attended my sessions before, so I'm not going to invite him. He knows the type of topic I'm going to give. Anyone else? Neha? Sai, okay, Sai, come on the stage. Excellent. So Toastmaster Sai Goyal, your topic is no man is an island. No man is an island. Toastmaster Sai, no man is an island. Taino, please note that we are going to just make a table topic 1 to 2 minutes.
No man
Is an island.
No man is an what we can say, in my opinion, okay, so what I can understand is truly different. So no man is an island. So what we can say that man, it is a very lame thing. Just to complete the thing that man is work. Island is something which is covered all in all directions with water. And man, I'm not able to.
Yes, you are right track. Now just relate it with man's life. The island is covered with water. What about men? What is it?
The man's life is covered with different responsibility, authorities. By different directions, it is the man is surrounded with many opportunities, authorities, responsibilities, and other subjective things like an island. Like we take an example of Sri Lanka. In my opinion, it is a fact that Sri Lanka is an island. It is surrounded all in all directions with either sea or ocean. Like we can compare that island with a man's life. Like in one direction, we can say we have an opportunity when we are young as a public speaker to learn public speaking. That is an opportunity. We have responsibility when we grow. A man grows. He has a responsibility of his family. To do what his family like when he was small. He got opportunity. Like I got in Toastmasters. This was an opportunity. Responsibility is like I have to apply it on my professional, my personal, my student life, and many other things like I can't relate. But to summarize, in the end, I can say that the man's life is filled with, is obstructed with many things like an island.
Now here is a catch for all of you. Whenever you get a group topic like this, where the meaning is not clear, focus on the key words. Man and island. Can you draw an analogy in some capacity with these words? The way of interpretation can be multiple. One can be that island is isolated, but a man's life is always dependent upon others. And both are metaphors. Man here doesn't mean man only, human beings in any capacity. We all are social beings, isn't it? We all are interdependent on others. But an island can be isolated. Now, when I raised this topic in one of my sessions, somebody asked a very wise question. He said, but island is also associated with water. It's not isolated completely. So he actually contradicts the topic. He says that man is like an island. Just like island pretends to be isolated, but it's always associated with water. Man always pretend to be rough and tough, but is always being associated with their friends, with their family. So he contradicted the topic and said that man is like an island. That can also be a good interpretation. So always have your minds open. There can be multiple ways of interpreting one thing. And it is not necessary that you know the exact meaning of that phrase. Maybe you can create a completely new version of it. Look at the way Sai did. Earlier he was thinking, but the moment he focused on the key words, man and island, he was able to draw an analogy. Give credit before credit is due. Focus on the key word. Credit and credit is due. Can I think about a person's story when I did not appreciate anyone, where the person deserves appreciation? Think about it. Have these stories ready with you. Maybe you are able to use it in this topic. That's the catch. Is it interesting? Aho? Excellent. Now, last type of topic. Abstract topics. Okay. Anyone here up for an abstract topic? Toastmaster Vivek is raising his hand, and I'll give the opportunity to Toastmaster Atul. And the topic is, if you have to invent one festival, what would it be and why would it be celebrated? If you have to invent one festival, what would it be and why it would be celebrated? Toastmaster Atul. Timer, please note the time is 22 minutes. Yes. 30 seconds to pick.
Festivals are there to enjoy, to be free. At my age and at your age, can we be different? Can we do role play on one day? Like we do Teacher's Day. A student becomes a teacher that day. But it is very focused. Can I have a day in which my child is like my adult, like my mother? The relationships will be really understood very well. And just imagine the whole society is playing it. Just imagine the complete nation is playing it. And we could be playing roles differently. We will not do our role. Like what T-Bot said today. Don't speak in your language. So, just imagine how much of enjoyment would that be. And after that day is over, how much will we enjoy that relationship? How much will we enjoy and actually think of the role which other person was normally playing for us? Our specs would change. What we were wearing as pink glasses would normally become normal because we will understand their perspective. So I think this should be made mandatory. Just like sometimes I feel that going to forces is mandatory to get a discipline, to understand the perspective of others so that man is not an island. We understand and relate to everybody. I think this relationship, playing the roles is really key and it's a very good idea to people.
Excellent. Beautifully he connected with whatever we have seen in the meeting so far, from one of the prepared speech, from the theme of Toastmaster, that's really commendable. And one key catch here for such type of abstract topics. Sometimes the challenge is that we are not able to think anything. Oh, festival, I do not support festival. I'm an introvert. What could be one festival which I can invent? In such topics, always remember that the ball is in your court. It is up to you what you want to speak on. Once I got this topic and I saw Toastmasters audience and I said that if I have to invent one festival, I would make one day mandatory for every family to have a Toastmasters meeting. I mean, just imagine for a moment. Husband is delivering a prepared speech on the topic of first love, and wife of the speech evaluator. Just imagine. So, my dear friends, when it comes to abstract topics, if you have your mind open that I can speak in any direction, you would be able to speak, mark me words. You do not need any prior knowledge or prior experience to handle such topic. What you need is an open mind. I got a topic one day related with Marvel's movie, that you are a character in a Marvel's movie. And now do not judge me or hate me, but I am a kind of a guy who do not like these storytelling, these fancy or superhero kind of movies. I've never watched any DC or Marvel movie. Till here. Except one Amazing Spider-Man I think I watched. But I have not watched any of these Marvel movies. But if I am in the Marvel world, it is my world. I said that I'll be invisible. And I'll use my power, which is the power of words, to make people more motivated. To make people accept themselves, love themselves. I'll go and whisper in their ears, hey, you can do that. Hey, you're great. Hey, don't listen to the society. You're born to do great things. It is my world. If my superpower is public speaking, I'll use that in my Marvel's world. Why should I fly? Or why should I do this like Spider-Man? So once you are open with this mind, that if an abstract topic is given, it is my viewpoint, you would be able to create meaningful stories of it. Always open. Is it interesting till now? Abo? Are we bored by the session, or are we still excited to learn new things? Excited? Abo? Excellent. Now, since we have discussed various techniques, Oreo technique in storytelling, and we have discussed how we can handle different types of table topics, let's go ahead and discuss 3 important tips at last, which we must keep in mind while coming on the stage. Tip number 1, take a pause. Do not speak immediately. The moment we enter the stage, especially when we are starting the journey, there are nervous energies. There are butterflies in our stomach, right? And if we start speaking with those energies, we would mess up with our words, we might forget the content. But the moment you took 1 to 2 second pause, in club meetings it is being practiced, a 30-second pause is being practiced already. But even in a table topic contest, or even in your life outside Toastmaster, whenever you have to speak, take a 1 to 2 second pause. Look at the other person. Or if it is an audience, look at them on the right side. Look at them on the left side. Absorb the energies of the room and then start speaking. That will help you. Number 2, speak slowly. Not saying it in terms of volume, but pace. If you speak like, hey, good morning, my name is Sushant Singhal. Today I'm going to talk about this topic. There are chances that after 40-50 seconds, I will forget my topic. But if you reduce your pace, if you speak slowly, people will be able to catch your words as well. And at the same time, you would allow more thoughts to come into your mind. You would be more calm while you're delivering your table topics. So speak. Speak. Slowly. Excellent. Now, third and the final tip. Sometimes it happens, we all are human beings. Even if we learn Oreo technique, even we have a bank account of stories with us, we are not able to think on the topic at that time. At that time, at that situation, buy more time. And how are you going to do that? Ask audience. How many of you believe that festivals are important? People would raise their hand. Which festival would you celebrate? Which one would you celebrate? Oh, I like this idea. Oh, let me speak on it. She will never catch that you were not aware about the topic, isn't it? She will think that this is your idea, but you use the idea of the audience itself. Ask questions from the audience. Even if they do not respond, even if they just raise their hand and do not contribute in your table topics, at least you will buy more time to think, isn't it? So whenever you are on the stage, buy more time. That's the catch. At last, all I would say is that whenever you get a topic in table topics, once again I would reinstate the fact that you do not require any prior knowledge. Whatever you know, by understanding the key words, you can speak on it. Once I get a topic and that was quite technical and specific by nature, I still don't know the meaning of that. The topic was genetic engineering. Anyone in the room who is aware about the meaning? Genetic engineering, what it is?
It's basically about how we modify the genes and how GMOs are created. Like they're modified crops, right? Like modified crops so that we could have make them last longer and we have them safe from pest attacks. So
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I wasn't aware about the meaning, but I was quite inclined towards human psychology, self-development, public speaking, and all these things. And I was aware about the keywords genetic and engineering. I said that genetic engineering, in my opinion, is that whatever traits we inherited from our generations, from our ancestors, it could be positive traits, it could be negative traits. How we craft these traits to do something meaningful in life, that is genetic engineering for me. Because engineering is all about creation. Software engineer creates softwares. Mechanical engineer creates buildings. And we all are engineers of our life. We all create our life in a way that that life becomes worthwhile. That people remember that life. I talked on that topic and people liked it. People came and said, oh, I was never aware that genetic engineering means that. I was like, I myself wasn't aware till the time I discovered it. So it's always your table topic. The ball is always in your. So if we summarize the entire session right from the beginning, the two important techniques we learn for mastering table topics are: number one, storytelling. And stories can be personal also, and it can be about other persons also, famous personalities also. Aho? Second important technique we learn, Oreo. What does O stands in Oreo?
Opinion.
Then?
Reason.
Excellent. And opinion. Restating the opinion. Right? And if we blend Oreo and storytelling, like stories could be used in the explanation part, magic will happen. Your content would be structured as well as people will remember it. Then we learned about different types of table topics. What are the three types of table topics? Simple, difficult, and abstract. Right? And while we are focusing on the abstract topics, there are certain words which we have to focus on. What are these words? Keywords of the speech, right? Are we going to focus on the keywords? Aho? Excellent. And when it comes to the abstract topics, what all should we keep in mind?
Use the words.
Use the
Ask audience.
Yes.
Just take a pause and then when you are not able to think, buy more time by asking.
Yes, these are important tips specifically for abstract topics. Can't we remember the golden rule that the ball is in your court, you can create it in any direction? If you are in the marble world in an abstract topic, you are not aware about the marbles, whatever you think your strength is, talk about that. This is your world, this is your fantasy world. Or you have to create a festival. Whatever you are passionate about, that could be your festival. So the ball is always in your court. The ball is always in your court. Excellent. And lastly, we discussed three important tips. Which we have to keep in mind whenever we are coming on the stage. The tip number one is
Take a pause.
take a pause. Tip number two,
Speak slowly.
and tip number three,
Ask
buy more time. Ask questions from the audience. Well, that's it from my side. I hope all of you enjoyed the session, and thank you so much for being